Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to yet another sharing. So, I invite you to grab your coffee, your tea, and truly relax and open up. This is not just a conversation, a one way conversation. Somehow, it is a collaboration because I'm setting it up like that. This is the teacher speaking because tomorrow or the next day, the student in me needs to be reminded. I need to be in that remembrance. And so, as always, I'm making these videos for you, for me, but I'm making this for other teachers and students at the same time. And because of that, this is not a static video. It will be somehow, and I don't care to even understand, I just already know that by you truly interacting with this type of information and ideas, these are things, these ideas, these concepts, these are energetic things. We are truly changing something, and because of that, it is a collaboration. And so today we're standing at a very dynamic point. Neptune enters Aries right after yesterday, right? We had a solar eclipse, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when this conversation takes place. What it matters is just this: the point that I have arrived to, and me wanting to share. And it is so interesting because we are truly at a new beginning, truly. But it is such a beautiful beginning of empowerment. And this theme of empowerment has been leading up to today. And everything and anything about empowerment is this self-empowerment and the ease of empowerment and this true unapologetic individualism, the being comfortable and of who we have become, being so aware of our desires and kind of maybe still struggling a little bit with the how or justifying those desires, and then trusting the desire itself, trusting the instincts, all of that. It is such an arrival into wholeness that it created yesterday. It just, in one day, it created such a profound ending of, personally, the biggest paradigm that I held before, and that was that about healing or about the process, which is pretty much, I don't want to say necessarily everything, but my whole work up to now, everything that I've taught, everything that I've engaged in has been about this idea that healing, the process of healing, is simply a thing, a carrot that our multidimensional self has been dangling in front of us for us to enter the process to the self, right? It was just a reason. And the healing, I don't really care what it is. I don't distinguish between if it's a disease, whether it is maybe a mental issue, or a problem, a financial, a conflict relationship, any of that. Like, they're all part of that sorrow. They're all part of creating a barrier, creating a limitation, creating suppression that just wants to be broken anyway. And so it's just a challenge, right? So is it that simple? I don't want to even get into it, right? many times it's like, well, it's the reason, it's our multidimensional self creating this story, really. Um, and I'm oversimplifying. No, it is not that simple. It can be that. It is a karma. Yes, it can be karma. It can be 500 million things. But I'm just moving through it in a very simplistic model because that's not the point today. The point is that because of this challenge, and we stepped into that challenge, we accepted the challenge, and we accepted the process of healing, which is the process of discovering a deeper side of self. And yesterday, it became so clear, and it had to be, I had to be led into that. I had 2 healings over the week, and they all pretty much carry the same message that, do you still want to do the process? Is this still engaging? Are you still interested to carry through the process? And the process can be a multitude of processes, right? It could be the mindfulness practice, the meditation, the breathwork, the yoga, the diet, the acupuncture, the medication, whatever, the introspection, the therapy, counseling, all that stuff, right? And it was like this very, very simple choice. Well, yeah, you can still be engaged with that if that's what you want, or you can simply be empowered right now and kind of deem it irrelevant, right? Like, why are you doing it? Why are you invested in this process? And so, yeah, 20 years of work just kind of one day rendered obsolete, and I'm celebrating because the liberation of this process fully shattering. So I had glimpses of this before, and it was nuances of this before, but now the clarity of this empowerment is what is. It is just here and now for you to step into it, for me to step into it, for us. And it is not at, or maybe before, maybe I'm not realizing that maybe now it has integrated fully to the level of the body, because I had these glimpses. I had to move through the layers. But yesterday, it just felt like all of it clicked all together to the point where, you know how it is? It's like, it's that saying, it's not just a saying, but it's the as below, so above. As within, so without. There is no more that. There's no, I should say, so there is that, but there's no separation of that. It's just like the whole space became one, and there are vectors, right? There is intent or force or willpower and direction, and you can move. So it's almost like if the as below, so above was 2-dimensional, I can move either in this or either in that. Now that entire space is open, and there's an aspect of multidimensionality within that space, that I don't even know how to, even though it's the same space, it opened up. There are no delineations like that. The definitions are gone. So if the process was in one space, because it was almost like I had no other options, I couldn't see the other spaces that I had choices in moving about. Now it feels like the space is open, and the way I move is just simply a choice, and there is no longer, well, there is no longer a clear direction. There is no longer, this is my purpose. There's no longer these strict ideas of, what we're here, how the process needs to be, what is the linearity of things. All that is so open, it is so available, and the choice is yours to make without the judgment that it's wrong. It's simply a choice. Oh, you want to point that way, and you want to experience that for a while, and that's it. And so and I know I keep talking about how free we are, and I think we're unlocking and we're realizing what this freedom truly means, because it's tough. It's tough to truly understand it. So maybe we're still in this exploration of freedom, but the unlocking that has happened over this week, yesterday, today, in the cell, in the atom of the body, is the same. It feels the same as what has happened in my consciousness, right? My freedom is no longer delineated by here's my consciousness. I'm within this awareness and I'm experiencing this, but my body might be separate. I am multidimensional all the way within my body, which I no longer have to say it, because it's almost, it is multi-directional. And so there's just space even within the body. Okay. And so what now, right? If this paradigm of reaching something, reaching our purpose, all those definitions have kind of crumbled and are crumbling. And maybe for some, they're just changing. And they're probably just changing. But to me, they have changed so deeply that nothing is recognizable. And last week, I also had this experience that as I'm aware, right, through my self-empowerment, the power that is being generated within the entity, within this, let me think about it, space-time, and time space. I don't know, whatever, both. It is literally changing this fabric of reality, this matrix. And it was almost like I don't see the pixels, right? But I could feel just through my awareness when I was so aware, and there was no trying. I'm just moving through space aware, and as I'm deciding on what it is that I want and what it is that I don't want, without thinking, without the process, without the judgment, it's just me. Oh, no. Oh, yes. That this decision on its own was creating these ripples that I could sense with my being, the conflict and the redistribution of information, and the interference, right, that it was getting, the interference that of the space that I was in with my presence that I was bringing in new spaces. I haven't traveled in these areas, and it was funny because as we moved through certain spaces, I would call out, and now reflecting back, it was so interesting. But I felt like calling out, right, to my family. It's like, wow, this is new territory. We've never stepped on this earth ever before, and the point is that this stuff is happening real time. There is no more waiting. There's no more integration. The level of change, the level of influence, I call it the umbrella of influence. It is so multidimensional, and I think I was talking about maybe a video. I don't know if it's in one of my circles or on a video. Everything is blending together now. But this linearity of us seeing the change in the 3D is broken, right? Because the umbrella of influence is so multidimensional that we can't trust just the 3D. We have to trust the senses beyond the 3D to understand the magnitude of influence through the power of presence, through the power of self-empowerment, without needing the process. The process itself was just a tool. It was the carrot that this multidimensional self was coaxing, whatever the word is, right? Encouraging us to undergo, to arrive at here today in this now moment. And now that we arrived, it is no longer necessary. So what now? I feel, and maybe that's why I'm making this video today and not yesterday, even though yesterday the urge was so high to create a video and I couldn't, just scheduling wise. But it's because today I see it so clearly. It is about this new leadership, the leadership of the self. Of course, this world needs new leadership in a very mechanical, in a very tangible way. And of course, then I'm thinking, oh, we're in Aries season. Aries is the first sign, right? The breakthrougher, the trailblazer of the zodiac, and he's using the fire, the willpower, his I don't want to say his creation through because it's Mars, right? Through conflict and not violence. What am I looking for? Aggressiveness. But maybe we can translate it as an empowerment and a very forceful inspiration to take this empowerment and translate it into personal leadership, into creating a new personality, because we need a new tool of behavior, a new tool of showing up, a new personality tool, which is strictly just a translation of our consciousness. And that then will further translate into actions and behaviors that we all know that we need, right? We need new leadership in all aspects of life. And I feel like we are actually well underway into articulating, into creating the new ego structure. And now this desire and the new, what's the other, these goals, they are no longer mental old structures. They are no longer conditionings. We can trust these. So our desires is the willpower, the fuel that we can listen to, that will propel us forward. And I feel like this next chapter of consciousness is, over decades, is about stepping into this self-leadership where we're truly learning about self-empowerment and power overall, understanding how powerful we actually are in a very real sense, in a very 3D sense. And we're stepping into this Godhead, not the Godhead, but a Godhead consciousness and Godhead empowerment. And through that, different expectations, different, maybe a different ego as well, different requirements. So I'm just imagining. I don't know, but I feel like this is the unfolding in which what is to come, and how we're playing with each other, right? Because it is boring to have power over others. We're coming into a different morality anyway, but that is no longer an interest, right? So we are now practicing empowerment, leadership, and power with other power, which is this excitement. This is the best I can translate what this excitement that I'm feeling is. And the articulation will unfold. Yes, it might require other processes, but the process of healing, the process of self-worth is going to be less and less. And what do I mean by that? Because see, it kind of becomes a chore, right? The cleansing, the being self-aware to other limitations, yes, that is still there. But it's kind of like a maintenance. It's kind of like doing the laundry. You just do it out of habit. You do it as a thing, cleaning your house. Yeah, you might have deep cleaning right now. Spring cleaning is perfect. or you dedicate a weekend, or you might still do a heavy duty detox, but it's not the main focus. It is not the main interest. It is not part of your desire system. That liberation has been unlocked. And now we're stepping into a creation. We're stepping into a leadership of choice, a leadership of desire that we can trust. This desire is not man-made. Let's just call it like that. It is this Godhead's desire. It is the multidimensional self wanting to experience a level of presence, a level of creativity, a level of play. And the dynamics, it's like both the feminine and the masculine have entered this relationship. The other thing I'm talking about in my circles is that we're also done with compromise, especially in relationships, and everything is some form of relationship. It is a relatedness. And when you come into this maturity that I'm no longer interested within a relationship to compromise. I'm too old for that, right? I'm too mature for that. I just simply, I'm done compromising. But that's different than negotiating. I am open to negotiate. I am open to explore other avenues, but no longer at expenses, right? I don't care to pay for something to have something else in return, right? Like that balance is done because the self-worth, right? So I'm not saying that exchange is done. No, we keep exchanging, but now we're talking about a self-reliance. I am my own energy source, and so I can alchemize through my own presence, through my own self-worth, that I am, and I can negotiate and exchange and share and collaborate, right, with others. This is what this space is about. And because of that, this compromise of energy between relationships at this level has ended. And so this is complex. I think I'll be talking about translations of exactly the same idea for however much longer, because this old story, I'm done. I'm done with this old story. All these PowerPoints, all these other things, just one day, they're no longer, what did I say? They're no longer relevant. We're done. And I'm so excited. I have not, this is like a 10 of swords. It's like, it's a 10 of swords because it's not a 3 of swords. There's no sorrow. It's, oh my goodness. It's like, it's been a while. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, the energy of even sorrow ended. It was the end of sorrow, was so clear. And so, anyway, we are celebrating an end of an era, and the excitement of this new, it is so overpowering that we can only celebrate. So I'm celebrating all of you. I'm celebrating us. And I'm going to just sit here. I'm going to take this energy that has been created in the now, in the future, in the now. And I'm going to just really allow it to expand. I'm seeing the vectors there's all these vectors with this energy moving in all these directions throughout my being, but my being is so fluid. Yeah, it's like plasma, because it's like, it's not water, but and I haven't thought about it. Right, like fire, willpower, Aries is this plasma which is fluid. I never had this thought of it before, how fluid it actually is. And that's exactly what I'm feeling. It is this tangible, very intentional fluidity. And that's what's different about this energy, why I couldn't recognize it to water or even compare it to water, because it has such an intentionality. This vector idea is so clear. I feel like water requires a container to give it purpose, to give it intentionality, right? Water just flows. It takes the path of least resistance, and it's powerful. It can carve through rock. But fire kind of, when it wants something, it wants it, and it's going to make its own path. And this desire of the authenticity of the I am, not to overpower, not at the expense of other people, but I want to experience myself so fully that I'm no longer willing to compromise me over you, because I can only create a disservice to all. Just really take this in. So sit with this for however longer you need. I am wishing you an amazing season. I'll see you around. Bye.